Bouncer, welcome back. Sorry about that. I had to restart the live. It keeps spazzing on me, and it was stuck in a loop. It just drives me crazy because it's usually right about the time I start where I get a whole bunch of people in here, and then it craps out on me. It's just frustrating, and then half of them don't come back. That's all right. But thank you for rejoining. I appreciate it. So good. I told you people would come. They don't like me much, but don't take it personal. Just relax, enjoy yourself. There's always gonna be haters. Half of them just hate, just because they're bored. They will definitely be back. You're on an awesome channel. Well, I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. Go says good evening from the UK. Welcome, Go You're across the pond. We're over here in the States in Montana, central Montana. Which I say that to people, and most people have no idea where Montana is. Where is that? Kind of out by Canada, over in between Idaho and North Dakota. We're up in the mountains. What are you fishing for? We have one pole over here set up with the bell is soaking with bread balls dipped in strawberry jello. It's for carp, although sometimes I get suckers bite off that too. And on the other line here, I am set up with a bottom rig with just worms on it. It's a high-low rig, so there's 2 hooks. And I'm trying to catch a white sucker, or we have bullheads in here. They're little tiny catfish. All we've managed to catch so far today is a bunch of bluegill. So I switched from a floating, I was using a little corky setup that floats your rig off the bottom, but we just kept getting too many bluegill. So now I'm on the bottom, and I'm trying to get white sucker. They're really neat looking little fish. Back again. Thanks for joining again, Danny. Sorry, I had to restart the live. YouTube and I are not getting along today, having some technical difficulties. Mary Turner, welcome back. Welcome to those rejoining. Thank you for all for coming back. I got the reconnecting message, and then I joined the live on my other phone because I saw that everybody was leaving, and it was just a loop stuck of me saying that there was a lot of cool people in here over and over and over. Do you eat your catch? Out of this pond, no. It's on the other side of this pond is a sewage lagoon. So no, I'm not eating anything out of this particular location. I do eat fish occasionally, though. I like northern pike is what I normally keep to eat. Occasionally trout I will keep because my mom likes to eat trout. But for the most part, my preferred fish to eat is northern pike. Occasionally we have channel cats here. And if I catch a good sized channel cat that's eater size, I will keep and eat them. But mostly northern pike. Northern pike is a really mild tasting fish when you bleed it and clean it correctly. And as long as they're not too big. Please remember to like and subscribe, everyone. Thanks, Bouncer. Appreciate that. Lou Boys, hi. I see. Lou Boys, welcome to the live. Welcome to the chat. I don't know what you mean by I see. I caught pike. Okay, yeah, that's my favorite species to target here in Montana. most of the water bodies that are around me, there aren't massive pike in it. We don't get big pike like y'all get over in Europe. Um, they are here. There's in western Montana, there's a couple of water bodies. Clark Fork River, for example, I've seen some absolute behemoths pulled out of there. And then over in eastern Montana, we have Fort Peck Reservoir, and there's some giant pike that live in there. Most of the water bodies around here, though, 2-3 pounds, 5 pounds, 8 pounds. The biggest one that I've caught was 20 pounds, which was a sizable pike. It was like 42 inches, but they're pretty few and far between. Like I just went pike fishing this weekend on 4th of July. I took the boat out and did some trolling for pike, and I caught 6, and the biggest one that I caught was about 6 pounds. Thunderstruck. Peter Coop says, back again. Welcome back. Thanks for rejoining. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Thunderstruck says, I catch a bunch of smallmouth bass. We do have smallmouth bass in quite a few water bodies around here. Missouri River, for example, I usually will catch, if I fish there, I'll catch some decent size, 2-3 pounders. Nothing monstrous. Rod, hang around in Justin Live and you will grow. Justin, shoot me a message, leave a comment on one of my videos, so I can find you after the stream is over, and I'll definitely follow you back and hit up your live. Same thing for all of y'all. If y'all stream, especially if it's fishing or camping, outdoors related, I love watching other people's streams when I'm not streaming myself. But anytime I interact and change something, YouTube spazzes on me on the stream. So if you can just pick a short, a video, anyone, just leave a comment on it, and let me know that you stream, and I'll hop back and I'll follow you as well. Matthew, welcome back, Matthew. What's up? We're still, all we caught so far is bluegill. Have had no action yet on the carp pull, and we switched over to a bottom rig, and I've been getting lots of bites. I'm trying to catch a white sucker. I got your brother. I'll leave some comments. All right, yeah. If you just any video, just leave a comment. Let me know you stream. Let me know you subbed, and I'll sub you back. You do sea fishing. Tommy Stam, I am jealous. I spent, when I was younger, much younger, I was about 17, I spent a few months down in southern Florida on the Gulf Coast and did a bunch of fishing there from piers and, in the bays. And I had such a blast. Man, you never knew what the hell you were going to pull up, and half the time we had no idea what it was that we pulled up. We spent more time arguing over who was going to take the damn thing off the hook than we did fishing. Frickin' puffer fish and stingrays and God, just a myriad. Every time you pull the pole in, it was something different. And it's probably some of the most fun I've ever had fishing. There we go, we're hooked up. Not big, but oh, yeah, he's still on there. Oh, what is this? Not what I expected to pull off the bottom, but this is what I'm dealing with. This is why so many of my hook sets don't hook anything. It's because we got little bastards like this. It's a little yellow perch. But they just have tiny little mouths. This is a 1/0 bait hook, which is just huge for this tiny little fish. Ooh, ooh, ooh. All right, cute little guy. Maybe 5 inches, but that's a yellow perch, and that's about as big as they get in this pond. They're really pretty fish, though. I wish we had somewhere around close that you could catch bigger yellow perch. The back pond from here, they get about 9 inches, but they're itty bitty. They got a good bite to them, though. When these bite, they feel so much bigger than they actually are. Alright, we're gonna put her back in. There she goes. Usually I like to bring the camera down so y'all can see the release. I mean, for me, fishing, the catching is half the fun. The releasing is the other half the fun. So I like to be able to share that. But until I figure out why YouTube is being so finicky with me at this spot, I try not to move the camera. I try not to touch it unless it spazzes. But at least we caught something different than a bluegill. Not what I expected to pull off the bottom though. Normally bottom fishing here. Perch usually eat higher in the water column. They don't normally feed off the bottom. You do get them every once in a while on the bottom though. I think there's just so many of them in here. I'm slightly tangled here. There we go. Do sea fishing from the beaches in England. That's cool. What's your favorite fish to catch fishing from the beach in England? Bouncer says, LOL, I think twice that size is perfect for the pan. Yeah, perch are really good eating. They're so small around here that there's no way I'm gonna keep itty bitty little fish like that to try and clean. It literally takes twice as long to clean it as it does to eat it. I normally, I'll keep, like pike, I keep 18 to 22 inches is usually the ideal size for me for pike to eat. If I'm catching trout for my mom, I will keep, 18 to 20 inch. That's kind of the sweet spot. Anything bigger than that, and they tend to have more fat on them and more fishy taste. And while I do enjoy eating fish, I don't like a super strong fishy taste. I like a mild fish. The sunshine has a tendency to push down in the water table. That's true, yeah. But we're dealing with this pond here is super shallow. Where I'm casting out to is one of the deeper parts of the pond. It gets to be about 8 to 10 feet out off this island here. But for the most part, everything the rest here is 2 to 5 foot, and it's fairly flat all around the pond. There's not a whole lot of variance. Awesome fishing, man. I do sea fishing from the beach. Oh, Pier in Netherlands. Nice. Lou Boy says, I fish in Michigan. There's some good fishing in Michigan. Danny, I'm out fishing this weekend. Coming, bro. What are you targeting, Awesome? Where are you trying to fish? I wanted to get out and do some more pike fishing today, but I was kind of wore out. I need to take a vacation. I've been working too much, working on my house, and I need a good long week vacation where I can go camping somewhere. And Bobby Shakan, I've caught, I think we're on fish number 5 for the day. 4 bluegill and 1 little perch. And I'm trying right now to get a white sucker or a carp. Or a bass. There's largemouth bass in here, but I'm not really targeting them right now. Bouncer says any fat can be removed and the fish can be soaked in lemon water with a bit of salt. Yeah, there's ways that you can condition them, clean them up. I've heard of soaking them in, lemon and salt, or buttermilk is another way of doing it. But I don't like having to go through all of that. I've found that, again, if I keep fish that are, not large, not tiny, but medium sized, and the key that I've found is bleeding them. So if you cut just underneath the 2 gills, there's like the little flap of skin between the gills on each side. There's an artery that runs through there. And if you cut it, 5-10 minutes before you're ready to take them out of the water and put them on ice, and you can get rid of most of the blood in them, any fish you catch will be much more mild tasting. And then another thing that I've found is that most fish, I've heard it referred to as the bloodline or the lateral line. It's what runs on the side of their body. And from what I understand, fish, like humans, when they take toxins in that their body doesn't know how to process them, how to get rid of them, just like humans, we store our toxins, especially heavy metals and such, in our fats. And fish do the same thing with the lateral line, the bloodline that runs along the side. So when you fillet a fish, when you fillet the skin off the outside, oftentimes you'll notice that there's a darker line of meat on both sides. So if you are willing to sacrifice a little bit of meat and cut that off, a lot of the fishy flavor, the oils, the toxins are all built up in that lateral line. Nah, just put them in salt. That's good enough. I mean, if that works for you, that works for you. Doing good fishing, man. Very long day tomorrow. Need to move a customer. Tommy says I'm going to be back in a bit. All right, Tommy. Well, thanks for joining. I should be live for a bit longer here. Perch is very mild. Perch, yeah, perch is a really good fish. It's just none of the water bodies around. I've never caught anything over 9 inches. And 9 inches is a fairly large perch around here. And you'd need 6 of the dang things for, a taco. I'm not about spending 2 hours filleting a bunch of fish for a taco. I already hear you know it very good. You don't need advice. Oh, I do, man. There's always something new to learn. I am not an expert on anything. I like to learn, and I know a good bit about a lot of different things, but there's always new things you can learn. Pike has a different flavor sometimes, but my family love it. Pike can be if they're too big, super fishy tasting, and the meat gets mushy. If you harvest them smaller, 18 to 22 inches, maybe 24 inches, anything bigger than that, the flavor isn't that great, the texture isn't that great, and more importantly, predatory fish like that, the bigger ones, contain a significant amount of heavy metals in them. You don't want to eat them, even if they do taste good. And if you do eat them, you don't want to eat them very often, because just like the fish, when fish take in heavy metals, they store them. You don't process it and expel it back out like a lot of toxins. They build up in the fish's body. Same thing with us. When we intake heavy metals, we store it in our fat, and it's there for the duration. Um, so yeah, you want to try to avoid bigger fish, but pike, if you eat them on the smaller side, you bleed them and you get rid of the lateral line. Very very mild tasting and very good texture. They're a white fleshy fish. Ooh, there we go. Some nibbles. Ah, something itty bitty. That ain't a bite. You see this? It's just a little. Well, we hooked up on it, I think. Nope, never mind. I missed it. It felt like garbage anyway, so. We still have a little nubby of worm on there. We'll throw her back out. Walleye is the best fish for taste in this area, but I think bluegill, crappie, and perch are the safest. I've I've only ever eaten walleye once. There was, in fact, and I hated to keep it. It's the biggest walleye I've ever caught. It was just a fluke catch. I was freaking trolling in the Missouri River in Great Falls near here, and I was actually trolling for pike and ended up catching a walleye. 6 pounds, 8 ounces, almost 7 pounds, 6.5 pounds. Very good size. It was like 27 and 28 inches, um, but just a gnarly hook set on it. He ate that lure so badly. I got the hook out and I spent half an hour trying to release him, and he just would not go. So I took him home. I ate him. Too big. good fish still. But again, when they get bigger like that, the meat just it starts getting mushy. The texture isn't right. They're a lot fishier tasting. It was decent though. Blue Boys TV, do you use bait casters? I've never used a bait caster. I use that style of reel when I'm trolling. You know, the line counter reels, which are, you know, the horizontal reels. Um, but I don't cast bait casters. I got a couple of friends that use them, and man, they spend more time trying to fix birds' nests than they do fishing. And I mean, I started with, you know, the click button Zebcos back in the day. I mean, when I was a little kid, and I, you know, graduated to a spin cast when I was, I don't know, 10, 12 years old. And it's what I learned on. It's what I've always used. Bait casters look cool. I mean, y'all do some crazy stuff with bait casters that I definitely would not be able to do with a spin cast. But I have no desire to learn how to use a bait caster. I do plenty fine with my spin cast. Trout is best smoked, but some people like stuffing them with onions and butter. Yeah, smoked trout. That's what we typically do with them. Trout and salmon. If I catch here, I keep a handful of them to smoke. And I'll eat it every once in a while, but again, it's still usually too fishy for my tastes. But a lot of my friends and family do like smoked trout, smoked salmon. So I'll harvest them every once in a while. Usually the only time I end up eating trout is when I catch a trout and hook it too badly and it just doesn't swim. So I will keep them and eat them. Trout, I think, is the worst tasting fish. I'd rather eat a bullhead instead. Yeah, they're to me. I've always said that I don't understand why people love trout so much. It's one of the fishiest, gamiest tasting fish I've ever eaten. Even when you do bleed them and they're not too big, like they have that taste to them, and I don't like it. But a bullhead, I don't know. Maybe you get bigger bullheads there than we do. Our bullheads, I think state record for a bullhead here is less than a pound. They're small. Just in case as bouncer, I stuffed mine with crab in one of my short vids. Crab stuffed fish. That doesn't sound too bad. Steve Bessing says hot smoke for 30 minutes, sea salt and pepper. Smoked fish sounds so good right now. Y'all are making me hungry. Justin, my man. Trout. Yuck. Yeah. Alright, well, at least I'm not alone. I thought I was the only one who didn't like trout. Everybody always rags on me. What do you mean? Trout's so good. I don't know, man. Maybe you and I aren't eating the same trout. Good God, these bluegill are still harassing my line on the bottom. It's the bluegill or the perch. These are just itty bitty little bites. And you're right, for the size of fish that I'm catching, I am definitely setting my hook way too hard. How do you tell yourself not to set the hook hard? I mean, how do you set the hook if it's not hard? I don't get it. But that last perch, I yanked him out of the water. Yeah, both my baits are gone. I wouldn't do that to my crab. I'm not much for trout anymore. Yeah, poor crab. How you gonna do your crab like that? I'm just kidding. Everybody's got different tastes. Some people like the fishy taste. I mean, after all, it is fish. They're supposed to taste like fish. In fact, the last catfish that I caught, I always pull off a couple of fillets and bring them over to my mom to eat. She was like, "That fish didn't even taste like fish." Like, I'm sorry. Thunderstruck says, I really like crappie. I don't catch many of them though. I've never caught a crappie. We have both white crappie and black crappie here in water bodies. I've never caught either of them. I know the Missouri River's got both of them, and then there's a handful of places that also that have them stocked. I've never hooked up on one. And again, 99% of the time when I'm not dinking around in the pond like I am right now, normally I'm out pike fishing, and I catch all sorts of things as bycatches when I'm pike fishing or carp fishing. Those are really the two that I go after the most. Every once in a while, I'll take a stroll somewhere and target trout just for the hell of it, or I've been trying to get better at walleye fishing because we do have quite a few places around here that have some nice sized walleyes, 30 plus inchers. Um, and in fact, the state record was just set at Holter Lake, which is about a little over an hour drive from here. And there's really good walleye fishing there. It's one of those fish that I just have not yet figured out, and it drives me crazy because I'll go out and I'll sit next to a boat or, troll along a boat that I see them pulling fish after fish after fish out. And it's like I'm fishing the same damn rig they are with the same damn baits they are, and they're catching and I'm not. And I get frustrated and I go back to fishing for what I know how to fish for. But I am always trying to learn, trying to improve. I would love to get better at walleye fishing. Same with bass fishing. But it's just two species I've never really targeted all that much throughout my life, and I've never really got good at them. I'm good at pike. Pike, if there's pike in a water body, usually I can get on them and I can, pull a few out. Walleye, again, the ones that I've caught have almost all been just bycatches from when I am pike fishing, because they will oftentimes bite on a lot of the same crankbaits, jigs, same type of rigs you're throwing out. Crappy Man Jigs is a great channel on YouTube. I'd like to still be able to taste that and not have the lingering, just overpowering fish taste. That's where I met Mary and Steve Turner, two of the greatest. God damn it. Why? Ugh. Missed another bite. Mary and Steven, two of the best people you ever meet on YouTube. Alright, well, I will, if I can remember the damn channel name, he said Crappy Man Jigs. Alright. Bouncer, not my favorite, but they were good with the crab. Annie. Who's Annie? Are you talking about Danny? Or did I miss an Annie? I feel like somebody's trolling me right now. I'll eat the crab before the fish. If I'm still hungry, I'll try the fish. Crab's one of my crab, lobster. I love crab and lobster. Shrimp, prawns. Y'all that eat frickin' crawdads, crawfish, though, I have tried so many times to prepare them, and I can't get them to not taste like mud and dirt and ick. I don't know what y'all do to them to make them taste good, but I don't get it. I stopped collecting them, trying to eat them years ago because they taste like garbage every time I do it. Get anything? That's what it is. It's just itty bitty fish that are pestering my dam. Normally I don't get harassed with all these little fish when I bottom fish here. I think you're right. I think it's just because the water temperature is so warm right now that it's pushing all the fish to the bottom. So I'm getting all sorts of crap that would normally never bite on a bottom rig here. Oh, oh dear Lord. None of y'all saw that. That didn't happen. There we go. A little further out. I think I should be in that deep hole right now. Maybe we'll go to the deepest parts here and see if we can pull something else out. Anyone else been on at Real CMJ channel? That doesn't sound familiar to me, Thunderstruck. So how do you like the pike taste? Pike are wonderful. If you catch them small enough and prepare them properly, I think they're one of the best eaten fish that there is. I've never had pike. Heck yeah, Danny. Me either. Caught plenty though. Still waiting for my blue coat at Turner's. My last short video is pike. Justin, shoot, if you haven't already, leave me a comment on one of my videos and I'll check out. I love pike content. That's the fish I target. Pike can be made without the strong taste with just simple soaking. 60 years and still like it. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways that you can make pike taste good. Like I said, I found that the key for me is just keeping the smaller ones, 18 to 22 inches, bleeding them, 5-10 minutes before you take them out of the water, put them directly on ice, and then when you're skinning them, clean them, make sure that you get rid of the bloodline on the outside, and they'll be wonderful to eat. Thunderstruck says we don't have pike here. Thunderstruck, where are you from again? That you don't have pike? I thought they were freaking everywhere. No sound, muted. Ah, crap. Hold on. I think we're back. He is way back in chat again. I'm scrolled all the way to the front now. Can you hear me now? Anonymous, welcome. You just got back from fishing. All right, cool. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I don't know what the deal with the mic was. I just turned it off and turned it back on again. Loud and clear. Pay someone $50 to organize this channel. Crappy Man Jigs, welcome to the channel. If I had somebody that I could pay $50 to organize my channel, I'd take it, but I don't know who the hell to pay to do anything. It's just me. Me and my lonesome. I get my creative feedback from my 9-year-old son, so. Howdy, man.
What up, bud?
I
was wondering what the fuck you were looking at.
Oh, I'm streaming on YouTube. Was that you honking at me on the highway yesterday?
No.
No?
No, I didn't leave home yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Had to recoup from the 4th.
I went pike fishing on the 4th. What the hell's a channel? Crappy Man Jigs? I have no idea what you're talking about. That's the man I mentioned earlier, Crappy Man. Oh, all right. Well, welcome to the live, Crappy Man. I've heard good things about you. I feel like y'all have an inside joke here that I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Chanel. Your channel's fine. Oh, damn it, I don't know, bite. Oh, these little turds. I'm gonna have to switch to a frickin' micro hook so I can catch all these stupid little things that just keep. Chanel is a material for jig making. Okay. Eli's Custom Spinnerbaits. Welcome back, Eli. How y'all doing? Wow, a lot of new faces in here. A lot of people that that have been in here before. Cool mix of people in here today. I've had more people in my live today than any other stream that I've had. It's kind of crazy. Y'all, the first, I think, hour of my stream today, I had 2,600 viewers total over the 1 hour. Normally, I'll stream for 6 hours and I don't get that many people. Bouncer says I'm definitely one of the coolest. Oh yeah. Modest. I love it. Yeah, we got one little nubby left. Man, these guys are gonna. I'm working on my second can of worms, and we're easily halfway through the second can of worms. These guys are just eating. It's just a buffet out there today. Make sure and double tap that screen, y'all, and smash the sub button. Thanks, Thunderstruck. Yeah, I appreciate any of y'all that sub and comment and subscribe and all that fun stuff. I'm a brand new channel. I'm trying to grow. I've been trying to put out content. It's so hard. The fun part is the fishing part. The not so fun part is the editing part, and I'm not great at it, which makes me extra slow at it. But it's still fun. I like learning how to do new things. And most of the time when I'm editing, my son sits next to me, and I figure if I can make him laugh, he thinks it's interesting, then then I'm okay with it. He's definitely my biggest fan, though. He wants to start his own YouTube channel now. Eli says, I posted a few of my custom spinnerbaits on my channel. Eli, I still have, I apologize. I don't know if I followed you or not. Will you leave a comment on one of my videos and I will follow you and check out your spinnerbaits? I know you've been in here a handful of times and I have not made it over to your channel yet. Danny says, I just took some meds and can advise to take them. They work great. No pain for you. Well, that's good. Pain is never any fun. I don't edit much except titles and thumbnails because I like stuff natural. Yeah, I've thought about that too, just posting raw content. I don't know if as many people would watch it. I feel like there's so much downtime in between all of the action that, I don't know, I guess some people watch it. Hell, people watch frickin' streams of white noise and campfires and all sorts of stupid shit. So. Matthew Sporlock, welcome back. You are in and out of here all the time, Matthew. How you doing? We're still trying to get something besides frickin' bluegill and perch to bite. Little bastards have been stealing my worms all day. Hey, you can share the table here. Go on. Oh, you're. By the time I'm on. All right. Yeah, more in the car. Eli, it's probably my stream. I only got 2 bars here. Well, 3 bars now. It switches between 2 and 3 bars, and it's been kind of shitty all day. Are you opening that shit with your teeth, man?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Montana.
Good God, man.
What?
Oh, he's shotgunning it. All right.
There's one. What'd you do?
Yeah, you made me pull on something. What happened?
Tastes good. Bass. Carrots in it.
You fish here a lot, man. You ever caught a trout out of here?
Back where that guy is, way back there.
In the corner?
Yep. Big old fucking trout. Like somebody must have fucking brought it from the river.
Well, because FWP, they list that they've stocked this pond with rainbow and brook like almost every year for like a decade.
Huh.
I have never caught a trout out of here.
It's been about a decade since I've seen a trout.
Okay.
We always target the bass.
I think 99% of the people that come here are either after bass or the bluegill. I think I'm one of the few that goes
Those are
after.
great for anybody that just wants to.
I hate the damn things.
Get
I
fish
can't.
on.
I can't stand them.
The first couple of years here, anytime we drown a worm, fucking bullhead.
Every once in a while I'll get one because I fish for usually one pull for carp.
Get them to get down and pass the bluegill before they annihilate it. We catch a lot of fucking.
That's been my problem all day today. Is I'm bottom fishing. I was fishing with a little floater, so it's getting it 16 inches off the bottom, and that wasn't enough. Bluegill and perch were eating the crap out of it. Now I'm on the bottom in the deeper hole, and I'm still getting nothing but bluegill and perch. But yeah, I've caught a few bullhead out of here.
I wouldn't be able to pick him up out of the water if he slipped just now.
He can swim.
Awesome channel. The internet can't ruin it much. I don't know. The stream's been real spotty for me today. I've had to restart it. I think this is the 4th stream that I've started since I've been here today. Irritating. Yeah, I just wonder if all the bass eat the trout when they stalk them in here. Because again, they're just little ones that they stalk in here. That or winter kill.
I don't know. If we had some egg sacs, I could tell you if there's trout in here still.
Yeah, I don't think I have any. They're all. I think all my trout baits are in my boat.
Yeah, we're normally throwing lures out here targeting bass.
Yeah, I throw for bass every once in a while. I get skunked too often fishing for bass. I stick to carp.
That's one I've never caught out of here, and I hear they're in here.
It hasn't been great carp fishing this year. Last year, I did really well every time I came here. This year, I might get one session.
Oh, you've been back in town at our carp fishing spot. Not a lot.
Yeah, there's some good sized ones in here. I'm convinced that there was a pretty big winter kill here last year. The fishing has been just off. Everybody that I've talked to has said it's off this year. I think a lot of the pond died off over the winter here. Besides the little bastard bluegills.
It gets so damn pressured. It gets fished hard. You want a good bass, you're gonna have to be like first or last one here.
Yeah. But I don't know. Last year I caught a bunch of carp. I mean, 6, 8+ pounders. Good sized carp come out of here. But this year, I think I've caught 2 or 3 all year. Just itty bitty ones too. I think we might have hooked something, maybe. Or not. Nope. Just robbing our worms again. Bouncer says he's been live for a while, getting ready for dinner though. Yeah, I got about, what time is it? 4 o'clock. I got to get out of here in 15 minutes. Unfortunately, I got to kill the stream to go pick up the girlfriend from work. And then I will be back afterwards, so I'll be off stream. Probably end the stream for about an hour, and then I'll be back. Yeah, if you all want to swing back when I come back for the second portion of the live, I am going to try and do some bass fishing. I brought a little snake topwater lure I'm going to try and throw and see if we can get the bass to bite on it. I got it in the mail about a week ago and then I lost it for a week. I just found it again today though.
Let's go, bud. Yeah. I didn't smack it last time around it. Top water plug.
Oh, that's the way to do it. Let's get a train going and have somebody paddle you around.
We had a bullhead for years that we caught out of there. We took 3 home. And the smallest one survived. He was about as big as your thumb. And he grew to be about damn near a pound and a half, probably 1.2 pounds. I got him for years.
Ready?
I thought he was cool. You could feed him whatever. Put a worm in there, put some lunch meat in there, whatever.
If you're not fishing right, you tell me.
That's what they leave us. Just these itty bitty little fish. Picking, picking, picking. Trying to get it in the deeper hole over there to get out of the bluegill and the perch. But it seems like no matter where I put it today, that's all I'm getting. They're getting my bait before anything else does.
I wish you said the name of the park. I finally remembered the old brewery that, or the old distillery there. Watkins.
I mean, that's
I've been struggling to figure out
both my
what the
hooks. They're just
small
chewed
town
down to nubs.
before they moved down underneath
So it's just them
Kentucky
tiny
Bridge,
little
they were
fish.
right in the water.
Their mouth ain't big enough to fit on the hook, but they can definitely take bites off of the bait.
Now they're shouldn't come in on the train cars.
Yeah, the more I look at this thing, the more fucking holes I see. There's a hole there. There's a hole under this. Put 4.
He's busy streaming and fishing. I'm trying. At this point, I'm just feeding the fish. I feel like I'm the snack train here.
It's kind of weird, huh?
Yeah, shit just almost sounds like a weekend.
Were you making fun of me, Ryan?
Hmm?
Were you making fun of
Oh, it
me?
looked like you had both feet out behind you and like you were completely flat. I had to double look to see that your other foot was
Bouncer
under
says, have a wonderful evening. Again, everyone, I'm heading somewhere to eat something delicious. Tails and tacos. All right, Bouncer, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate the conversations and the support. I will be back. I'm going to be ending the live probably here in 10 minutes. And then I'll be back probably in about an hour for a few hours of evening stream. And we'll get rid of the worm rig and start throwing some lures and see what we can pull out of here.
Fuck, by now I would have caught one.
Isn't there crappie and pelican?
Fuck yeah, there is. My biggest crappie so far on the Pelican, 13.5 inches. Fucking just a unit.
Black or white?
Huh?
Black crappie or white crappie?
Black crappie.
Yeah, I've never caught one there.
Yeah, and then Holter last summer, I pulled a 12-inch yellow perch out of there.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I was stoked. He hit, and I'm fucking game on with him, and about 20 minutes later, I got my perch set up out with my little ass pin bobber, little tiny split shot, little tiny hook.
Yeah.
Trout like this comes up and eats it and tangles up all of our lines.
Shit.
Every one of them.
Yeah, I think the biggest perch that I've ever caught came out of the back pond back here. There's some big perch back
There's a
there.
grizzly bear den back there too.
Oh yeah?
Fuck yeah, there is. I won't go back there without my rifle.
Same with the bass.
So,
Interesting. Yeah, I've only been back there a couple of times this year.
yeah, between here and Indian Hammer, there's about 20 grizzlies.
Huh. Yeah, I see the signs everywhere, and I've seen, you know, people say they've seen them. I fish down here all the time. I've never seen one down here. Sims, I saw one. I was fishing last year at the Sims on the Sun River, and one came barreling across the river.
I'm a firm believer in don't take bear spray, just take a really big gun.
Yeah.
Bear spray don't work. It just pisses them off.
Now, another place that's got really good size perch is Francis, if you've ever fished that.
Fished up there.
Good walleye fishing up there.
Oh, don't tell me that. I'll go decimate the lake.
No,
Walleye's my shit.
that's what most people fish there for, is walleye. There's supposedly pike in there. I've never pulled a pike out. Some really good size perch and some very nice walleye.
I'm almost convinced there's fucking pike in here.
I wish.
I bet you there is.
Nah. I've fished this place for a year. If there were pike in here, I would have caught one by now.
It's like I always like to say, you never know who puts what where.
I've always said I wish somebody would, but it would ruin the bass fishing. There'd be no damn bass in here if somebody put a pike in. Oh, it's definitely not gross. It's famous. It's only gross to people without refined taste. Okay.
They're supposed to be trying to stop out, so we'll see if that happens or not. Yeah.
Now, supposedly the tiger muskies have escaped from the pond back there and are in the sun right here, though.
No, they did.
100%
They flooded out the same year they stocked it.
Yeah, one of the guys from...
So the Sun River should be full of them.
Well, one of the guys from Fish, Wildlife, and Park that comes and checks here occasionally says that somebody that either that works there or a family member of somebody that works there caught one right at the access site down here last year. Almost 50 inches. They got a picture of it posted on their bulletin board in their lunchroom.
Yeah. Fuck a 50-inch tiger? Oh, boy.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you know what year it flooded that they got out?
It's been about 6-8 years ago.
Okay.
It was, yeah, the same year they stocked it. That winter, we had a good winter, and that spring it fucking flooded the pond.
Hey, Splodger. Yeah, we're all American.
They're still in the pond, but they're also in the river now.
Yeah.
Dave was saying he ran into a feller that caught one out of there, a nice one too. But I don't know. I don't like grizzly bears.
Now, I try a few times a year back there. Last year, I had a couple of really solid strikes. The only thing it could have been was a muskie.
Like you fish for pike.
Yeah.
That's something I just learned today. I was like, huh.
Well, they're a crossbreed of a pike.
Yeah.
It's the same damn fish, really.
Pike, musky lung, and tiger muskie, all the same shit. I just think they have different colors and different sizes. That's all it really is.
Now, the first time that I went over there, I think 3 years ago was the first time I went over to that pond. A buddy of mine was like, you want to fish the back pond? I'm like, what are you talking about? And he led me over there, and there were a couple of kids that had a little kayak, a canoe that they had drug over to one of the islands over there, and they were fishing off the island, and they pulled in. It looked like a pike to me, but I didn't know that there weren't pike in that water body, but it was a smaller one, 24, 26 inches.
One year, I went back looking for that pond, and right away on the river, I crossed over, got onto some flat stuff and dry land, kept cruising up, and I come across bear tracks right away. Nope, I turn around, I'm only packing a little knife. I'm not even playing this game, I know better. I'm better off throwing that pistol at the bear than trying to shoot him with it.
I don't know, man. Back in the day, I knew a guy he every year religiously he went bear hunting, and he carried a 6-shooter on him. That's what he shot with. I'm like, you're nuts, man. He's a taxidermist, though. He rattlesnake hunts.
Oh man,
He's a different breed of folk there. What's that?
So don't get me started on rattlesnakes. I'll go find you one.
Oh no, thanks. No, the one year he invited me to go rattlesnake hunting with him because he's a taxidermist and he clears out rattlesnake dens for local farmers. They pay him to do it. I'm like, what the hell? Sounds like fun. So I went out with him and he hands me this little 22 little pea shooter with snake shot. And he's like, if one comes at you, shoot it. I'm like, all right, whatever. I had no idea what to expect, but walk into a field and he starts reaching into the rocks and just one after another raining them. There's a guy down the hill from a Frank, big old fat guy, got a 5-gallon bucket and he's dancing around like a girl, like, ah! It's just rattlesnakes raining on him. But we walk in and it's just from in front you, beside you, behind you, and it's like, all right, I'm not having fun anymore. I'm ready to go back to the truck. No, that was my first and last time rattlesnake hunting.
I shoot every rattlesnake I see, regardless if it's bugging me or not.
Yeah. No, if it's anywhere, I mean, we get them around here. I live in Vaughn. If I catch one around my property, it goes in the fire pile.
Oh man, take them and skin them out and throw that meat on the open fire.
Yeah.
That rattlesnake meat's pretty good. It's stringy, but if you can get past that, you can do it like I do. I just shoot them.
All right, guys, I gotta get the rigs pulled out of the water here. I unfortunately am playing taxi driver for my girlfriend today, so I gotta go grab her from work. I'm gonna be a little bit late as is. But I will be restarting the stream. It's about a 20-minute drive to get her from work, and then I gotta drive 20 minutes back. I'll probably have a quick snack and then we'll be back live. But thank you all for joining. I appreciate y'all stopping through and chatting with me. I will be back in an hour-ish. Sun's going down. We're getting a little bit of an overcast sky. I think we might be able to get some bass to bite tonight. I got a few minutes to get all my stuff packed away here. Oh. And as always, I appreciate the likes. If y'all enjoy the content, like fishing videos, feel free to subscribe. I'm live fairly often, and I do make shorts and videos and some random content. But at any rate, I should be back live this evening in an hour or so, so y'all can stop back by and hang out. And again, if any of y'all are streamers, please feel free to drop a comment on any of my videos or shorts. Let me know that you're a streamer and I will happily subscribe to your channel as well. Come hang out when I am not fishing. Alright. Just trying to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Have a great one. Be careful. Thanks, Mary. Thank you for sharing this great experience. Bouncer, always happy to share you guys. Thank you for hopping in and hanging out. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you all for coming in and supporting this awesome channel. Thanks, guys. I definitely appreciate the support. Y'all have such a great vibe. All right. Just getting everything packed up here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and kill the live, you guys. Thanks again. I will be back maybe an hour or so. Tight lines out.